Well, I'm feeling rather anxious as I await my mother's arrival. I believe that I told you all at one point that because of the Morgellons, although she wanted to come visit me, I wouldn't allow it because the contagion factor, although the majority of the population has been subject, at the time I didn't realize that, and I wouldn't have wanted to be the reason nor the cause for my mother nor any of my loved ones to gain the affliction that I have. Therefore, I put her at bay until, I don't know, about a year ago or less. I finally put the ball in her court. She's a responsible adult. After all, she's my mother, and I allowed it to be her choice. So we hadn't seen each other for like 5-6 years prior to that because of the Morgellons. But recently she came for a visit, and she was already planning and intending on coming to visit me yet again. Under the circumstances, I've visibly been emotionally on the brink, as is, especially with this latest Morgellons flare-up. It has really hit me hard. You start contemplating your way out, honestly. And that's where I found myself. And then to top it off, to not be able to focus on your health medically the way in which you should and that you need to, because you're so distracted and stressed with keeping a roof over your head, which has been my current situation, given, having the Section 8 inspection. And then with the hurricane damage, my landlord has not addressed these things. And what I'm getting in the bigger overall scope of things is I think he's intentionally doing this because he knew that this stuff needed done even prior to inspection. He's withheld and waited. And then now he's saying that these repairs won't be done in time for the re-inspect, and that if they're not done, that I won't have my Section 8 funding. So that leaves no other alternative but for me to move. And when you're not in good health, to have to try to move after you've been stable somewhere for as long as I have here, I've been here, like 8 years already? It's a big deal, I wasn't looking to move. So now I have to consider that may be a factor in all this. And on top of trying to contend with my health. So yeah, emotionally, I'm over the brink. I think anybody would be, just with the Morgellons factor alone, and not having the medical assistance that I need, given that circumstance. So I'm anxiously awaiting my mother's arrival. I know for now that will be uplifting. It will give me strength. I'm like feeling so anxious. For one, my Papillon's being a little stinker today. He keeps yelling at me. In his means of talking, he's yelling at me, and so it's really stressing me out. I broke down to my mother like a little girl, and I explained to her, about a week ago when all this Morgellons flare-up stuff started for me again this round, that I found myself wanting her like a child, like when you're sick and you want mom to come take care of you. Well, that was the point I was at. I found myself just crying for my mother. That's how horrible and horrific it all has been. And so I was honest with her, and I told her that. I said, sometimes pride gets in the way, but I really wanted you here, and I still do, given everything that I must go through with the landlord and not knowing what to expect, whether I've got to move or whatever that situation's going to be. And so, I found myself at a breaking point, just telling her, that I really wanted her here, if that was at all possible. And she's like, well, when do you want me there? And I said, now. I told her now. And so she goes, well, how about I come first thing in the morning? She goes, let me, get off the phone, get some rest, and I will be there. So she was supposed to be here at noon, but I know she stopped off in Schulenburg for her kolaches. And so, yeah. And my daughter had a delicious meal made. Sounds like she made glazed ham and I think potatoes and all kinds of stuff. It feels kind of like Christmas. All this to address, a roof over my head and my health, and it feels, like it's a small blessing in disguise because Mom's coming. I feel like it's Christmas, so hopefully Mom will be pulling up any time now. I'm waiting to see her little blue Volkswagen pull in my drive, and then between 5:30 and 6, we're supposed to go over to my oldest daughter's for her dinner, see my prego. She's got a couple months left to go in her pregnancy, and she's about to bust. I haven't got to see her and the kids for a while. I'm kind of concerned because my flare-up, I'm just going to have to make sure I'm well covered because I don't want to, possibly subject my grandkids or anything, and just kind of keep the visit short and just go for dinner. But it sounds like she's made us a very yummy, scrumptious meal, so I cannot wait. And then, for today, basically, I want to enjoy today and the fact that my mom's just, even here, and just kind of relish in that. But then, of course, my medical stuff needs addressed. We're probably going to, because my doctor has basically ignored, everything right in front of his face, I'm not getting much help there. And due to the severity and nature, being covered in painful, ghastly, horrific sores that you don't want everybody to see, I think I will go at night and choose the ER and then just have to do a follow-up with him so that hopefully maybe the ER will run tests that the family doctor hasn't. Maybe I can get them to resubmit another Lyme test for me. Maybe they will even test for the co-infectious, diseases that come along with the Lyme. Maybe I can at least get something concrete there. Maybe I'll get fortunate enough that somebody won't just try to write me off as delusional concerning the Morgellons. Who knows? Maybe I'll get some help there. One of my last ER visits when I went in for back pain, I'd mentioned my Morgellons to an ER doctor there, and she'd actually heard of Morgellons. Although she was not knowledgeable, she was aware of it and knew it in fact existed and that I was not delusional. So maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe that ER doctor will be on staff. Or perhaps one of the things that I'm going to ask them is maybe an infectious disease specialist will be on their staff and valuable for me to speak to. Maybe I'll get lucky and they won't just, push off pad and paper at me and try to give me a psychological testing and sign me up for the mental ward. That's my hopes. So anyway, with my mom by my side, I'll be feeling a little bit more courageous and a little bit more uplifted and confident. So I'm going to stick with that for now and just approach it one step at a time as I go and see how it goes, see how it all plays out, and pray for the best possible outcome. So if y'all can, please send me all the, healing, positive, loving energy my way that you can possibly spare, because I'm going to need it right now during this duration in my life currently. So if you will, keep me in your prayers, please. Thank you so much. And please sing with me if you get a chance. Thanks so much. Much love. As always, Snugglebug.